Chapter. We're talking real money.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Don McDonald. Tom's not here. This is week one of his 3-week hiatus. He will not be back on the Saturday show until the 13th of July. So today and the next 2 weeks, you're stuck with me. But you can call me. I love to talk to you, with you about your money at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Oh, that's a lot of podcasts I have to do, too. Holy cow. Good news is I've got Joe Saul-Sehy coming in to help me for a couple of them. He's the host of Stacking Benjamins, which is a very popular podcast. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun period, and I hope you give me a call or ask questions at TalkingRealMoney.com. Again, our phone number is 855-935-8255. So, where is the most expensive place to retire in the country? Where's the least expensive place to retire in the country? Well, Entrepreneur Magazine created a list of the cost of retiring in every state in the union. Now, since we're on the radio on Saturdays in the Seattle area, which is in the great state of Washington, I thought I'd start there. Now, Washington falls at the high end of the middle. Actually, at the higher end of the middle. And they calculated the annual cost of living, how much you need after the average Social Security, and then how much you need to have saved to provide that income. Now, these are all rough numbers. But in Washington, the annual cost of living, according to them, is about $67,000 a year. So your living expenses after average Social Security are about $45,000. So you need about $1.1 million to comfortably retire at an average income without draining your principal. Now, the least expensive place is also a W, and it's right next to Washington alphabetically, and that's West Virginia. The annual cost of living in West Virginia is about $17,000 a year less than in Washington. So you only need to have saved to get you that make up that $27,000 difference between Social Security and the annual cost of living. You only need about $675,000, which is for a lot of people doable. Now, it's interesting. The vast majority of the country falls in the 50s for annual cost of living, or basically right around $1 million, between $800,000, $750,000, and $800,000 a year to live there. Tennessee, you need $750,000. In South Dakota, you need $770,000. South Carolina was shockingly, you need like $809,000. But Hawaii, if you're thinking, I'm going to retire on the beach in Hawaii, well, one, remember there's kind of a cabin fever there, an island fever. My dad had it when he lived out there. And I never visited him there. I've never been to Hawaii. We were supposed to go, but the dog got hit by a train. So we never did go. Debbie had planned a trip. Hawaii was the most expensive place in the country to retire. To retire in Hawaii, get this, you would need to have saved about $2 million, because the annual cost of living in Hawaii is almost $104,000 a year, or $81,000 after Social Security. The other states up there near the top, of course, I bet you can guess. New York? California, you need about $1.5 million in money saved, and in the great state of New York, actually parts of New York are cheaper than others. You need about 1.2 1.25 million in New York. It's not as high. California's higher, but the highest of all, well, that's Hawaii. Want to talk about your money and your life, or you want to know where your state ranked? Give me a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
In medicine, a second opinion might save your life. With investing, a second opinion might save your future. The trick is getting one without a high-pressure sales pitch. Well, I'm Don McDonald, and if you've been listening to Talking Real Money, you know that our goal is to help everyone create a brighter future by investing and managing money better. That's why, in addition to helping everyone on our show and podcast, we are also committed to making our 100% fiduciary advisors at Appella available to help everyone make the best financial decisions based on science. So if you're being pitched a financial product or a system, make sure you get a second opinion with no cost, no obligation, and no annoying sales pitch by going to TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's 800-386-3004 or TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
I neglected to mention one other really expensive state. Not as expensive as Hawaii or California, but it's up there. That's Alaska. It's expensive. 855-935-TALK. That's the phone number. I'm Don McDonald. Tom's on vacation. And Rob, you're up next. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Don.
Hey,
Thanks
Rob.
for taking my call.
Glad to do it.
So I have two questions for you with the quick questions, quick answers probably. So when I play your podcast on my computer, there's an image. Usually if you play another podcast, you'll see maybe like the album cover or the image of you and Tom or something like that.
Yeah. The show image.
Computer, a woman. The show image, it's a woman. I just wonder if that woman is the one that does your disclaimers.
Huh? There's a woman?
Your show image is a woman, an attractive middle-aged woman with a blouse on. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Anyway,
I think that's just you. What? You're listening on your computer in what service?
I download the podcast. Download it
through whom?
When I play other.
Do you go to Spotify or Apple or
iTunes? Yeah, iTunes.
Oh, so you go to Apple? Okay.
But when I do any other podcasts, I sometimes get the show image or I get something else. But on yours, I get this lady. So anyway,
I don't know who that woman is.
The lady that does the great disclaimers.
No, that's actually my daughter. And I just had her do the disclaimer because we had to completely rewrite it. I had another woman doing them, but I just had my daughter do it for about the past year. Hold on a minute. I'm pulling it up because now you've baffled me. I'm pulling up Talking Real Money on my computer under Apple Podcasts, and it shows Tom and me. I don't know.
Okay.
Email me a screenshot. I'd like to figure out what that is just out of abject curiosity.
Okay.
And I go to a lot of trouble to make special art for each episode, too. So I've got to figure this out.
Well, I didn't mean to derail your show at all. But I do have a question about decumulation.
Sure.
So I'm under the impression that when you rebalance at the beginning of a year and you decide you're going to pull money out for that year's budget.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was thinking to do. But then recently I've heard more about, and actually from you and Tom both about, well, maybe you need 18 months of cash. And I hadn't thought about really wanting to do that. So what's the pros and cons of having 18 months of cash versus just once a year, just pull it out, be disciplined enough just to pull it out for a year and move on?
I don't see much. The only thing I could see would be just a little bit extra comfort the volatility, the intra-year volatility or the intra-18-month volatility. But I'm a big fan just because we live annular. We live our lives annular. We have birthdays every year. We have Christmas every year. We have New Year's every year. We have annular events. So I just love the idea of finding a point in time in the year, whenever that is, because it really doesn't matter, and saying, okay, I'm going to take my 5% of my portfolio out, and that's my budget for the next year. I like that idea. I think it fits with the way we work as people.
Well, I agree with you, but I've also heard the discussion with you and other callers about establishing a CD ladder and things like that.
As part of the portfolio, maybe.
I'm missing.
No, I don't think you're missing a darn thing. I think it makes absolute sense. We suggest rebalancing annually, and this just fits right in with it.
Okay. All right.
That
makes me feel better then.
Yep.
Thank you so much for taking my call. Really enjoy your show.
And if you get a chance, send me a screenshot of that woman. I want to know who she is, how she got on our podcast. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Take care, Rob. 855-935-8255. Call now because I've got the lines open and plenty of time. So you might as well join me. Jerry, you're up. Welcome to the show. Hey, Jerry.
Don, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good, sir. Thanks.
Well, here I have a Roth 457 question, and I know you don't handle too many 457 questions, but I retired in 2018, and I wish I'd found both of you guys and had the time to listen prior to retiring. But I struggle to stay in about the 22% tax bracket and below 24.
Mm-hmm.
We had a major remodel in 2019, and the Roth took a brunt. I have three accounts: what used to be a 457, which is now an IRA with Schwab, and a traditional IRA, a regular brokerage account, and the Roth, I guess.
Okay.
So I went back to work because I got bored, and a friend asked for some help. And so this year I put in about $10,000 into a 457 with Roth with Voya.
Expensive.
If I decide to move that 457 Roth to Schwab, when does the 5-year rule restart?
The 5-year rule. You're talking about the withdrawal rule from when you separate?
Yes.
It doesn't restart. Oh, wait, on a new 457?
No, it doesn't restart.
If you're talking about a brand new 457, then it starts from when you started contributing.
Okay, the contribution date.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
The first, not the last contribution.
The very first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you have 5 years from that for those withdrawals to be tax-free.
Okay, so if I roll it into Schwab, it's still not the contribution rate was when January was when it started?
Yeah, that would be when it started. It's not going to restart when you move over to Schwab.
Okay, all right, good to know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. What we talk about is incredibly important. I know it may not seem like it. It certainly isn't as much fun as some of the other topics. Like, well, I don't know. Politics used to be fun to talk about. I used to have a political kind of general talk show. And it was fun because nobody wanted to kill you. Well, I did get stalked, but, it wasn't as strident back in the old days. But money is important because it's a part of everything we do. I mean, I'm getting ready to take this trip, and money's a huge part of it. I was just figuring out what gas is going to cost me, particularly when I get to your West Coast out there. Holy cow, you guys are paying a lot for gas. Out here, I'm only paying about $3 a gallon. And my gas guzzling, trailer pulling Nissan Armada, it's going to cost a lot of money to fill. So money's a part of everything. And we don't just talk about investing, although it is the primary thing we talk about. I'm game for anything that's money oriented. Just call. 855-935-TALK is the phone number. That's 855-935-8255. It's just way too easy. And we'll get back to it in just a minute.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
That phone number again, every Saturday, noon to 2 Pacific, 3 to 5 Eastern, is 855-935-8255, which spells talk if you have letters on your phone pad, which, by the way, pretty much everybody does. Lorraine, you're up next. Welcome to our little get-together.
Hi there. How are you today, sir?
I am good, Lorraine. How are you?
I'm great. And can I tell you one little funny thing is that the commercial that came on right before I decided to call you was about a couple who had just maxed out all their credit cards and they were looking to take out a short-term loan. So anyway, those are the commercials around your show.
Gosh, I didn't even notice. So, yeah, well.
Indeed.
Well, they need help too.
Yeah, so I have a question that I may have answered my own question while I was sitting here listening to you. But so I am struggling right now between the idea of possibly doing an irrevocable trust. Mm-hmm. And part of that is because I want the funds that I have saved to stay mine, and if I do get ill. And I guess it's the long term. I'm trying to decide whether I should get an irrevocable trust now and get long-term care insurance for the 5 years setback, or if I should just give up on an irrevocable trust and just do, the actually it's almost $4,000 a year for long-term care. What makes more monetary sense?
Well, basically what you're proposing is basically gifting it out of your ownership to the trust because it's a separate entity, but you have the look back period for Medicaid. But here's the thing.
Correct.
Do you really want, if something bad happens, I mean, really, who are you protecting it for? You said you, but is it really you?
Well, yes, it is. I have nobody. I mean, I'm giving a little bit to my nieces, but the rest of it is for me to play with and spend.
Okay, because generally, most of us end up in the expensive long-term care facilities in the final months or years of our life. Generally, it's really rare that somebody goes in young and then spends a few years and gets out. It happens sometimes with accidents and things, but for the most part, it is the end of life. And one of the things I've thought about a great deal, as I'm getting older than I feel, is the fact that, do I want to live in a Medicaid facility? Because sometimes, a lot of the time, you're not going to get the highest level of care if you're on Medicaid.
Can I ask a question?
Depends on the states, too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but if I'm in a Medicare facility, but don't I then have all that money in my account?
Right, to spend. Yes. But there are costs associated with it, and now it depends on your capacity. You're going to have to, you may be incapacitated, as many are in memory care. And now it's the trustees of your trust, who are, by the way, getting paid, probably, who are going to make those decisions. If you have a really large estate and need to leave it to somebody, that's when trusts start to make a lot more sense. But and there's another just purely moral question for me. I used to have a guy on my show 25 years ago, who encouraged people to get all that money out of their ownership and get it to somebody else, basically so that they go on the government dole. And that's a totally different question than a financial one. Financially, it probably makes some degree of sense, particularly if you have a trustee that you know will use the money to give you the care you really need. But it's not on the top of my list personally, because if I can afford it, I feel like I should pay for it, and hopefully I can afford it. And then if I can't anymore, then I guess I go on Medicaid. But it's a personal call. It is really not a financial call. It's more personal, because somebody's got to spend the money somewhere. Somebody. It's not like government money is free. Some of us are paying that. You are. We're all paying it. So it's a very, very personal, not financial question, I believe. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate it. 855-935-TALK is our number. That is 855-935-8255. Pick up that phone.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Talking Real Money is the name of our show. I'm Don McDonald. Tom is on a long vacation. I will be here alone for the next couple of weeks, and I hope you'll call me at 855-935-TALK on Saturdays from noon to 2 Pacific time. Or if you're listening to the podcast, 3 to 5 Eastern time every Saturday. 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, because conversations are kind of fun. Of course, my wife likes them better than I do, which is going to be fun for her on the road trip. Thank goodness she's there. She'll do all that. I'm much better. Radio talking, podcast talking, I'm good. Face-to-face, not as good. She's a pro. Boy, she's good at it. So check out the road trip, talkingrealmoney.com. Coming up really soon. Getting in the Airstream across the country. So give us a call. Give me a call, 855-935-TALK. You can also send your questions in at talkingrealmoney.com. You can speak them, and those get answered on the Friday podcast, or you can type them, and those get answered on various podcasts or on the show. And today, since I don't have Tom to read the questions, I'm having Speechify read the questions.
Hi, Tom and Dawn. Frequently, you talk about ESG funds on the podcast. I have never heard you talk about anti-ESG funds that invest in things like coal, fossil fuels, gas-guzzling cars, diesel engines, coal-burning power plants, gas appliances, etc. Do they exist? If so, do you have the symbol? I am sure they would be more successful than the feel-good ESG funds.
I think you forgot to type the word B. I'm sure they would be more successful than the feel-good ESG funds. Would they? I don't know. I am not a big fan of ESG funds. I'm not. I'm not a fan because the definition thereof is difficult. I believe we should just invest in the very efficient global economic marketplace, because the market will decide which companies survive and which don't. And it's been a very efficient way of determining winners and losers. So I like leaving it up to the market. I don't invest for a reason. Well, I do invest for a reason, and that is to make money in a reasonable fashion to make my future and my wife's future comfortable. So, do I do ESG? No. Do I promote it? No. Am I against it? No. Anti-ESG? I mean, it's, yeah. Do you know what an anti-ESG fund, and by your definition, would be? An energy fund. There are energy sector funds. Now, I don't recommend investing in sectors, but Vanguard has a very old energy ETF, VDE, Victor David Edward. And it's done okay. Its 10-year average annual return's been pretty pathetic because energy stocks haven't done all that well. I did do some other looking, though, for anti-ESG funds, and they've almost become a political thing. As a matter of fact, the guy who ran for president, Vivek Ramaswamy, the guy who's kind of a loudmouth so-and-so, he really is. I mean, he was kind of annoying at the debates. But he has a company called Strive Asset Management, and they do energy and socially irresponsible. They don't say that. I'm sorry. I don't think that's appropriate. They're just not as they're just okay. Here, I'll look at Strive U.S. Energy, which the ticker symbol is DRILL, DRLL. They've only been around for a little over a year and a half, 2 maybe. Their average annual return is just under 13% versus, for the same period, Vanguard's at almost 17%. And their fund is more expensive. Vanguard's is cheaper. So, you can do what you want to do, but you can do it without the political component that I think many of these have. Talk more about it in a minute. 855-935-TALK is the phone number. Be right back.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you suffer from hodgepodgeitis? I'm Don McDonald, and hodgepodgeitis is a disease of your investment portfolio whose symptoms include lots of stocks, loads of random loaded mutual funds, and maybe an annuity or two. Most who suffer from hodgepodgeitis dread opening their quarterly portfolio statements. They feel lost and confused. Investing seems overwhelming and the financial future uncertain. If you believe you suffer from hodgepodgeitis, see a 100% fiduciary investment advisor immediately. A proper diagnosis is the first step to creating a portfolio with a purpose based on a personal plan. Start on the road to recovery now by scheduling a free meeting with an Appella advisor at TalkingRealMoney.com. There is no cost, obligation, or high-pressure sales pitch. Take the first step at TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. Hodgepodgeitis is not a real disease, but treating it has been shown to improve mood, reduce fear, and even lead to a brighter financial future. Results may vary.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Before the break, we had a question from someone who typed it in and then it was spoken here on the podcast about anti-ESG funds. And I did find a couple of articles about anti-ESG funds, one at Financial Times and one at ETF.com. And there are some anti-ESG funds, but they're really tiny. They're really tiny. They're very focused portfolios. However, to the listener's point, those that I looked at have done very well. Just give you some of these symbols. The symbols are hysterical. There's the Point Bridge America First ETF. Its symbol, MAGA. Its expense ratio is high at 0.72, and its one-year return is about 18%. It's a short window. Another one that's much shorter, it hasn't been around very long at all, just a couple of years, is the Title God Bless America ETF. The symbol, YALL, y'all. Y'all. That's a redneck fund if I ever heard of one. Y'all want this fund? They did 35% over the past year, which, y'all, is pretty impressive. Then there's one called the Inspire 100. Symbol is BIBL. Then there's the Inspire International, which is WWJD. So the symbols are very creative. Very creative. But I'm not going to suggest, I don't believe that you should own any portfolio that is focused in one area or another. Let the market determine what's going to happen. The market is really good at valuing companies effectively. And sometimes if you do have a focused portfolio, you can do very, very well. As a matter of fact, the YAL fund, has 10% of its money. This is why YAL did really well. It has 10% of its portfolio invested in NVIDIA. But there is only $21 million in the portfolio. And ETFs tend to have hundreds of millions or many billions in them, not tens of millions or just millions. So these are small. It's hard to judge a small fund. It's also hard to judge something that hasn't been around very long. Phone number, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. And I'd love to hear from you. So give me a call. We've got lines open and still quite a bit of time left. And another question that came in through TalkingRealMoney.com on the contact form.
Disability or early retirement, age 60 from my state job are the same amount. I am choosing to leave work due to profound depression.
Oh, wait. I got to give this a different voice. Sorry. I meant to make that a female voice. So we're going to make that a female voice.
Hey, I'm Mary. Let's read more so you can do more.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. All right, here we go. We're going to do it again. Ready? Come on, Mary.
Disability or early retirement, age 60 from my state job are the same amount. I am choosing to leave work due to profound depression, and we will become a one-income household, my husband's. Hopefully when my depression lifts, I will take a part-time private sector job. Should I take retirement at a reduced rate at age 60, or leave it sit until I am 62? I was not a good steward and did not do deferred comp. I have 23 years in.
I'm sorry about your depression. I get it. I've lived with that in my family. And I do hope it lifts so that you can take that part-time job. The question as to whether you should retire at that reduced rate at age 60 or leave it really comes down to your ability to fund your life in the interim. If the money is unnecessary, then leave it. Wait until it gets larger. Because whatever that pension is, it's going to be set at that rate for the rest of your life. So you want that rate to be higher because you want to live a long time. So it really becomes a question of what your current situation is. And you really didn't have any information about that other than the fact that you didn't do any other deferred comp. But if you can find a way to pay the bills between you and your husband without drawing that down, that to me would by far be the wisest decision. The longer you can wait, the better. It's like Social Security. You could take Social Security at 62, but it's going to be a tiny fraction of what it's going to be at your full retirement age as you get closer to 67. Or it's even more impressive if you hang out until 70. I mean, I looked at the differences of mine along the way, and I still haven't taken mine yet. I'm certainly eligible. I'm past full retirement age. But I'm not taking it until 70 because if I wait to take it until 70, today, it's almost $5,000 a month. I mean, that's serious money to me, and I'm sure it is to you. So if that pension's a few $100s a month higher, it's probably worth waiting for. And again, 2 years, when you get to our age, 2 years goes like that. It's kind of like the trip I'm getting ready for. We're leaving in 4 days, and I know that that's going to feel like about 12 minutes. So, yeah, I'd wait. Thanks so much for the question, and I wish you the best. Hang in there. 855-935-TALK is our phone number here at Talking Real Money, 855-935-8255. And every Saturday, every single one, I am here, or Tom is here, or both of us are here to answer questions for you about all things money, anything money. We want to help you muddle through life better than you have in the past. Interesting piece. I wanted to talk a little bit about this before we left, from the Wall Street Journal. And it's not about investing. It's about credit cards. And I actually used this feature not long ago, and that was disputing a charge. We had a flooring company that took a deposit on reflooring where we had some water damage, and for months they never called us back. They wouldn't return our calls. We didn't hear from them. So finally I went to Citibank and disputed it, Citicorp. And just a couple of weeks ago, the thing settled, and I got all my money back. They gave it back to me immediately, but the merchant didn't respond, and of course they didn't deliver anything anyway, so I should have gotten it. But this is becoming the new way of returning things, of getting money back. As a matter of fact, in some cases, it's almost to the point of fraudulent. Last year, get this, consumers disputed 105 million charges with credit card companies for $11 billion. That's up from $7 billion in 2019. So people, you need to realize you have a right to dispute charges on your credit card, which is another good reason to read your statements really carefully, because they have to investigate it for you. They have to.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hey there, Don here. Tom gone. Tom's in Africa, or the Seychelles, which is off the coast. And a couple of quick program notes, some other things that we need to cover here at the end. Because I'm going on my Talking Real Money road trip starting very soon, I'm going to take a few days off so I can actually have time to enjoy the road trip, as opposed to just be driving and working every single day, which is the way it would be. We're going to not have podcasts on the Mondays, on 4 Mondays in July, the 8th through the 29th. Basically, I'm taking some vacation time. But I'm not going away the whole time. See, unlike Tom, I don't just leave you for like 3 weeks. I hang out once in a while with you because I like doing the show. So no shows on Mondays, no podcasts on Mondays, but we will have one on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have Q&As on Friday. The weekend show turns into a podcast on Tuesday and Wednesday, unless there's a holiday. And then on the 1st of July, Joe Saul-Sehy from Stacking Benjamins will join me as co-host. Also on the 11th of July, Joe will be with me on the show. So check those out at TalkingRealMoney.com. And speaking of TalkingRealMoney.com, there is just all kinds of stuff at TalkingRealMoney.com. You can, if you look at the top of the page, I set it up with buttons because I like buttons on a website. You know, you shouldn't have to dig around to figure stuff out. There's the Contact Us button, and that's where you can ask questions or speak them in. There's the Meet an Advisor button. You click on that if you want to meet with one of Apello Wealth's advisors, which is the company that merged with our company, Vestory. And it's free, no obligation, no sales pitch. You can take the risk quiz, which is terrific. If you want to know what your risk tolerance is so that you can build a real risk profile, and a risk profile is your risk tolerance combined with your need to take risk. And that helps drive your portfolio in the future. So go take that. That's free. Again, no obligation. You can find help on finding a fiduciary advisor. You can sign up for Retire Meet, which is coming up in Connecticut, an East Coast Retire Meet. So we got that button there. Also, there's the road trip. And if you look on that front page, you'll see a map, an old map of the U.S. with my route, my approximate route. And there's also a picture of the Airstream. This is the 1989 Airstream that I will be towing behind my Armada we start in Asheville because it is in storage in Asheville because my mom's in a nursing home there. And we're going to start from Asheville, North Carolina, and then zigzag our way up the eastern mountains and then cut west. And you'll see the picture of it right there. So if you see it on the road, take a picture, send it in. We'll send you a T-shirt. Just click on the Learn More button. There's a lot of stuff there, and there will be more stuff coming up there in the future. I'm going to start updating that this coming week, so we'll have more stuff there. And let's see, is there anything else you can do cool there? Oh, yeah, you can listen to the podcasts. Just scroll down on the front page. They're down there. And then go a little further down. You can also read some older articles that we wrote when we did a magazine called Real Investing Journal. So they're called Essays on Real Investing. Excuse me. And I think that's about it. So go check it out at talkingrealmoney.com.
The opinions and views expressed in this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions.
Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy.
Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appellate Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appellate Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Appellate Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appellate's fees and services.
Appellate Capital, LLC, DBA Appellate Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appellate does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. I think I need a nap.